Hi everyone, it's Anjanette from AJ's Personal Touch. Um, this is Vlogmus Day 8. I am getting this taped right before midnight again. It's been a long day. You can always tell when it's nighttime and when it's a long day when you see my glasses on my head. I do spend most of the day on my head, but especially at night when I'm going between watching TV and things that I'm doing. Um, I've been getting work online done today, so I really haven't gotten any crocheting done. Although I do plan on getting a couple rows of a pattern done before I go to bed, which is going to be part of a brim on a hat. I saved patterns today from online. I'm trying to think if I can show them to you or not. I think only one of them was a free pattern. The other ones are PDFs. So no, I probably shouldn't. I saved a scarf pattern that I want to make my daughter, a scarf pattern that I want to make her boyfriend. That's what I wanted to make it for. And if not her boyfriend, then my dietitian, because I like to make her scarves. She's always cold. She works inside. And so even during the summer, she's always cold. So I like to make her the nice light scarves so they can keep her warm when she's inside. And she has helped me um, get through so much in the past couple of years where I can eat now that, yeah, I like to make her things. She's basically part of the family now, which I've told her, and she's never going to be able to not be part of the family anymore. But anyway, yeah, but I believe the only person I was thinking of making a scarf for besides Emily, my daughter, was for her boyfriend. I saved the other scarf pattern for. And then, oh, a bangle bracelet pattern because I just want to make a couple of them, like one for my mom, one for my daughter, one for my brother's girlfriend, who should basically be my sister-in-law. They've been together longer than my husband and I have been together. Um, one for my niece to be, um, maybe one for my goddaughter, some to send out to people. I'm going to send them things later, one for my best friend. So yeah, they're supposed to be easy to make and quick. So I saved those. I printed off a bunch of wrap labels for handmade things, um, tags to put on things, saying this was handmade with love, different things like that. Christmas ones. I boxed up my order to go. I did videotape an episode earlier, and it's already up about what blogs are, what blog hops are, and what blog hops are going on that right now. What else? Um, I'm dealing with this one. She's been a smart aleck today. The other one messed up the TV when I was going to tape about an hour ago, and I spent over, oh, bless you, half an hour trying to fix the TV. So that took a while and wore me out. I saved all my patterns from my blog hops. And I watched one video today. His no catchy name was putting bags up in her shop today, and I did want to get a new bag, but I I didn't dislike the patterns that she put up, but I had really wanted to get a Christmas one this year, and I messed up on my own on the timing of her last bag drop. And for whatever reason, I know she's in Central Time, and I had put down that it was happening at 5 o'clock, forgetting that that was 6 o'clock my time. So I kept looking and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. And then I went to and did something, and by the time I saw came back, it was like 6:30. She had done the bag drop, and the one Christmas bag that I really wanted was gone. And the one that was left, I really didn't care for as much. Um, so, like there were like two or three of them that I liked. One I loved that I really, really wanted, and then the other two were like, second choice. And then the one that was left was kind of like, no, I would rather save my money and get a design in a different type of bag sometime, because so far all I have is two of her drawstring bags, and I love them. I just love them so much. But I want to get one of her bags that has like a box bottom. And she's talking something about she has a bag that has I think she said it's called a slap closure or something. Uh, when she was talking about it, it made me think of those slap bracelets. Or maybe she said it was a cinch close. I don't know. Um, she said she really couldn't explain it until she makes you what it looks like. So it sounds really cool because I guess you can open and close the bag with one hand, with however the closure is. And she was talking about making zippered bags, of just making, like picking up the cloth and whatever it sounded like it wanted to be, or whatever she had enough for to make, and to use up things that she had to make bags with. That's what she's going to do. And she might have another bag drop in by the end of the year, because she could go into labor at any time. For those who watch her, she's pregnant. Um, she had been having some issues, so it was really a thing that we all celebrated with her when she became pregnant, and then we all celebrated when she did the whole reveal, whether it was a boy or a girl, and she's having a girl, and all excited for her. I've wanted to make her something, I just haven't had time. Um, so yeah, um, watched hers to see, and then I've just really been on the go. I've talked to my husband about things that's going on with his job, because things are changing with his job. Um, I won't discuss it on here, things that we really don't like. Um, Different things happening that shouldn't be happening, and people acting like they shouldn't act. Um, so yeah, I talked to him when he got home about that. Um, I've been looking at cat food, because I used to buy the cat food, and now we had to change to a different brand. And my husband had bought it this last time, but yeah, he's still buying wet food and stuff, and seeing if I can get it on Chewy cheaper if I buy the wet food that we get for him, and only give like teeny tiny bit every day, but it makes them feel, I don't know, like they're getting something special. And it makes Halford, the one who was sick, um, it makes us know that he's eating, because he has days where he just doesn't feel like eating. But if we have some wet food, um, sorry about that. I had put the show on pause, and it's been too long, and it started up again. But but yeah, just I can't remember what I was saying when that happened. It's just been a long day. Uh, a long day of not doing a lot. Oh, Chewy. Yeah, looking at Chewy. And I still have to go back and look again. But I did spend time looking at patterns and deciding what hat I was going to make for who. So I know what hat I'm going to make for my niece and my niece to be and my nephew who she's marrying, because I wanted to make them a set of matching hats because they go and they do things together. They camp together, they kayak together. Um, they do so many things together outdoors that I wanted to give them matching hats. Um, they're going to be different colored, but otherwise they'll match, and they're both tweeds. So I'm using the same kind of yarn but different colors. His will be brown, and he should be able to wear his to work. He works for UPS, and I made him a cowl last year for him to wear when it's super cold out and he's got to do deliveries. And he's just thanked me over and over. And then I just felt so humbled at Thanksgiving this year. I sat next to her, and we were talking because they were recently engaged this summer, I think, is when they were engaged. But yeah, spring or summer. And I asked her if she knew when, and I want to make her something special. And I asked her, told her what it was I want to make her, and asked her if she would like it. And she said, as of right now, yes, she would like it. But it all depends on what she picks out, um, what wedding dress she picks out to wear, and if it will go with it or not. And I'm going to make her a bridal shawl. And so I need to start saving shawls. If you have any good patterns for bridal shawls, link them below. Um, I know I favorited some shawls and stuff, but I'm not going to have time before Christmas to like go through and sort what I have already. Although if I do find time, I should do that because then I can show her at Christmas what I'm looking at. But she's not going to have a dress by then anyway. Um, I told her I'll just start saving patterns that of things that I think are nice, and I'll put them in a folder for now, and I can show them to her later. And I used to work in a bridal shop, and we would sell things to make your own favors. We would take orders and make favors. Uh, I worked in the back where I would input the supplies into the computer when the supplies came in, and keep their inventory on the computer going. And I would send out letters every week, back when they used to have in the newspaper all the engagements, and we would send out letters to everybody who was recently engaged, and with all the things that we could do at the shop. And the shop's name was Merrymakers, and I just thought it was so cute. And it wasn't spelled Merrymakers as in Merry. It was spelled Marry, as in, marry me, um, but Merrymakers. And there were two owners of the shop who were like best friends, and the one was just an expert when it came to flowers. Amazing. She could put together the most beautiful bouquets, um, and boutonnieres and corsages and whatever you would need. Centerpieces, um, florals for the end of pews, you name it, anything floral, and she was on it. So on it. I was like, okay, I went to work there after I got married. I had so wished that I had known of it before I got married, because Oh my goodness. It would have just been so cool to be working there when I got married because I would have had some of the things. Rentals. They had rentals. All these things that I didn't even know of that you could do for a wedding until after I got married. My husband and I paid for our wedding. We did everything ourselves. Him and some of his family and some of his friends, they went and decorated the hall the morning of the wedding because we couldn't get in the night before. And he wouldn't even let me come and help decorate. And I wanted to so bad. And it was just simple. Like they did crepe paper down the middle of the tables, and twisted them and just simple stuff. And I mean, I picked out some really cool um, the little gifts that you give, which my brain's gonna go blank on me right now. At the time, they were new. To say now what it was, you would be like, oh, well, that's something old. Um, Party favors. Um, but back then, they had just started having the little pads of paper that looked like it was a match, a pack of matches, because so many people did Mr. and Mrs. on a pack of matches. I didn't want to give out matches. I didn't want to encourage people to go and smoke. But when I saw those little pads of paper, I thought that was cute. So that's what we did. Um, Besides, I did needlepoint. If I would have been bigger into crochet at the time, I mean, I was crocheting baby blankets at the time, but I hadn't, learned how to do other things. If I would have realized I could crochet a flower and do it, pretty quickly, I would have crocheted instead of needlepoint. But I had found this pattern for a needlepoint rose, and I was making these needlepoint roses um, that I had wanted to set so many on each table, and I ended up not being able to make as many as I wanted to because it probably takes 2 to 3 times as long to needlepoint one as it does to crochet one. So yeah. But they were pretty and people liked them. And you could, if you, I did the middles as tight as I could, and some people would get a candle and stick a candle in them, and they looked really cute. But I really could have used their services. I love the fact that the other lady, she would help with the florals and stuff, um, and do whatever the other lady, said they needed to do. Thursday nights, we were there working all night long to get the florals done for the weddings for the weekend. Um, I can remember once they taught me the basics of like boutonnieres and corsages and that. And they loved the fact that I had made my own for my wedding. So I self-taught myself how to do it because I had worked in flower shops in high school and I had gained a little bit of knowledge when I did that, or I just watched. And then from watching, I kind of, learned how to do some things. So she taught me the little tips and tricks that I didn't know. And so yeah, that was nice. So yeah, it was kind of neat that I ended up working there because I just loved it so much. I loved being able to go on Saturdays and help set up the weddings when they needed help decorating, when they didn't have enough, when either one of them couldn't make it because the one who did the florals, her daughter worked as well. She would come in and help do the flowers and stuff, and then she would come in on the weekends and help decorate. So if she couldn't come in, then they would ask me to come and help decorate. Or if it was an extra big wedding, they would ask me to come in. Um, or if for some reason somebody couldn't. But it was just so fun working there. And I worked there up until the exact day that my daughter was born. Um, she's adopted, which I've said before. So as soon as her mother, when they took her in to induce her labor, that was my last day. I told them, I think the day before, oh, they may be inducing her tomorrow. unless she goes the night before. So this is, they knew what day was supposed to be my last day, but they knew that if for whatever reason things didn't happen, that I'd be back in, at least one more day or whatever. But yeah, I worked the very last day, and I used to take her in as a baby so they could see her. But I got off track. The other lady, besides helping with the florals, she would make the most gorgeous, I mean, gorgeous handmade cake toppers. And to watch her it was just amazing to watch her do that. She would do that, and then she also made the garters. She made handmade garters. And I remember I did go to their shop and bought some stuff before my wedding, and I bought my garter there. So yeah, um, yeah, I love that shop. It was one of my favorites to go to and look for things when I got married. And they were one of the first shops to have the little tiny bottles of bubbles. They tried to be, on top of things. And I wish I would have had bubbles for my wedding instead of birdseed. Um, I'll have to remember. I want to tell you now, but I'm already at 21 minutes and I don't want to go too much later because all I'm doing is chatting. I've already really told you what I did today. Um, but a good reason to never ever use birdseed for your wedding. Most people don't anymore, but for those of you who still may think, oh, well, it'd be cool to, use it because that's what they used to use. It's not so cool. It's not so cool. Um, but yeah, I loved working there. So I offered to help my niece to be with her wedding. And I was thinking for party favors. And she was like, oh, could you help me with the centerpieces and stuff? And she's not a crafty person. So I told her, yeah. I said, I'll help you. You know, I said, I'm pretty crafty, and what I can't and don't know, I can always look on YouTube and find help. And I told her I'd share it with you. Like, as long as you pick me up and take me where we need to go, and, take me up to go shopping and we can get the things that we need, I'm like, I'm all down for it because I can't drive myself. And she's like, oh, I'd be more than happy to come pick you up. So, yeah, it's going to be fun. I can't wait. And then once I help her with hers, I'll be all ready for whenever my daughter gets engaged to get married. So yeah, yeah. It was fun, and it's nice having somebody who needs the help and wants the help, and isn't looking at me as somebody like, oh yeah, well, I should just use you and let you help with this or let you help with that. She genuinely wants the help, and we get along really good. Oh, but what made me start talking about her was I said I was sitting next to her at Thanksgiving, and she just really she made me speechless, and I didn't know how to react. And I try to learn how to take compliments well, especially when it comes to my work. But to me, I still feel like lots of times like that little girl just learning how to crochet, and not like I've been doing it for 40 some years. And she just, I felt like she was making me blush. I made her, I made him a cowl last year. Well, I made her a cowl too. And it was the first time that I had ever worked with that, like the hygge yarn, the kind that's kind of curly. It's a red heart yarn. I want to say the name of it is Starlit, I think. It's purple in color. It's the color that I had gotten. But it was on sale at Hirschner's, and I had gotten it, and I think they were discontinuing it. And it reminds me of homespun, and I have homespun here, but I haven't used it yet. But this was the first yarn that I ever used that was that type of yarn. And I made her a cowl. And I think it came out amazing. And I was in such a hurry, and it was so close to Christmas that I didn't take pictures. Um, I don't think I took a picture of his either, but I know I didn't take pictures of hers because I went looking when my friend wanted me to make infinity scarves for her, one for her daughter and one for her granddaughter for Christmas this year. I wanted to show her this cowl that I made because all I would have to do is make it longer, to make an infinity scarf. And I couldn't find a picture anywhere. And I was like, oh no, I forgot to take a picture. And I was telling, I think I was telling that to my niece. And she said, no, actually, I wasn't telling her that. We were talking about all the wedding stuff and stuff. And I was asking her a question because I want to make matching hats. She doesn't know I want to make matching hats. She knows I want to make a hat for my nephew. And I was asking her if she knew if he has like an average size head or if he needs to wear a larger size hat. If she's ever had to buy him a hat and if she's had to buy him a larger size or if he just takes a regular average size. And she said, well, I don't know. She said, but I'll measure one of his hats for you if you want me to. And I said, yeah, that would be great. She said, I have to let you know something. And I was like, okay. And I knew when she opened her present the year before, she loved it when she looked at it and told me how beautiful she thought it was and everything and tried it on, said she liked the fit. Um, but let me know, she has a lot of scarves and a couple different cowls. Um, and she likes to change it up by what she's wearing and that it matches and everything. And she told me, she said, you know what? You made my absolute favorite scarf. She said, it just fits right, it lays right, it's just perfect. She said, and the color goes with almost every single thing that I wear. And they just moved into a house in the neighborhood that I grew up in. My brother still lives there. He just renovated my grandma and grandpa's farmhouse, and it doesn't look like a farmhouse anymore. It looks like a very modern, updated house, and pretty big. I haven't seen it in person now. I've just seen the pictures here lately, and he did it all himself. My brother is a perfectionist. He doesn't like other people to come in and work on things. He did it all himself. Um, well, not he did have some people come in and do things that he doesn't know how to do. But he knows how to do a lot when it comes to construction and working in homes. He used to work on a construction crew, if I remember right, when we were younger. And when he had just first started looking for jobs and stuff. I believe he worked on one. And he went and he learned how to do drywall and stuff. And we had a good family friend who did drywall, and he was going to go work for him. But my brother has a hard time working for other people and doing things the way they want him to do it because when he thinks he knows the right way for it to be done, and that's the right way, and it shouldn't be done any other way. Well, anyway, they live a couple doors away from my brother. I told her, I said, are you sure you want to, marry into this family? You're going to be so close, so close to your in-laws. Um, I have a hard time when I'm in that neighborhood now because um, my brother had bought her a house across the street from the farmhouse after her second husband passed away, and she had to find somewhere else to live because in his will, that house went to his kids for them to split. And she was supposed to be able to live there for, I think, a year it was, maybe two, I think was stipulated in the will, but they really wanted to take care of things right away, and she wanted to be back in her old neighborhood. She was tired of being so far away, and the chance for this little teeny tiny house, and it was the perfect size for my grandma and for her being on her own. And then my aunt, my great aunt, her sister, would come and visit and spend time in the summer with her and stuff. And it was just the perfect size. There was my grandma's room, and she had a guest room, and just perfect size. And I keep on going off on tangents, but anyway, um, so they just bought this house, and they just, you know, they're still unpacking and still putting things away and stuff. And she told me, she said, I want you to know, when I started unpacking and I came across the scarf or that cowl, she said, I put it in my top drawer where I can find it when it starts to get cold, so I know exactly where it is. She said, that's the scarf that I'm going to want to wear 90% of the time. She said, because it's just perfect. So she just, she humbled me so much. Um, it just made me feel so good. Just to have the feeling, knowing that something that I made her feel so good. And yeah, I used to feel that way with my grandma because I made her. There was a year that I made everybody scarves. I tried to make hats for the first time for the men, and they came out all too big because I didn't know what size to make. I just figured, okay, they're men, I make the bigger size, and I really didn't know much about gauge and checking gauge and stuff because all I had ever made was baby blankets, and you didn't have to do that. Um, so yeah, my first year making stuff for the family again, and I made my grandma a dusty rose. Wearing this is making me think of it. Scarf, and my grandma always got cold. And when I was talking about the dietitian who I make scarves for, grandma was like that in the winter time and sometimes in the summertime too. Again, because of air conditioning being on in the house and stuff. So my grandma wore that scarf all the time. Almost every time I was over, she had it around her neck. She would be sitting down doing her crosswords or watching CSI on TV, one of her favorite shows, um, and sitting there, and she would have the scarf on. So after she passed, my mom made sure that I got the scarf back. And for the longest time, that was the scarf that I would wear. And then it started coming apart in one spot, and I wasn't quite exactly sure how to mend it without it looking like it had been mended or not getting the right spot and have it keep unraveling. And I one of the things I pay for every month, and I don't use it hardly very often, but is the Creative Studio in Annie's. And one of the first things that I watched in there, I think, was their video on how to mend things. And so I've got it mended and it's fine now. So yeah, I go between that and another scarf. And then I made myself the Outlander cowl last year by Tess Loves Yarn. I haven't watched her in a while. I need to go and watch. And then I made myself a matching towel. One I just thought of in my head. I made it up myself, and it matches that. So yeah. Now that you've listened to me ramble on, I am going to say goodnight so that I can upload this. A couple more things done that I need to get done and be in bed by a decent time. I ended up sleeping until noon today. I haven't done that in a little bit. So, and I don't want to do it tomorrow. I'm going to be up at 8 and fresh and raring to go. I got some hats to make and some scarves to make. And then if I get those done, I have ornaments to make and amigurumi to make. And I have enough stuff to make to keep me busy up until Christmas and past. So, anyway, remember you matter. Remember you matter to me. And if you ever need to talk to anybody, feel free to send me an email and I will get back. And if for some reason I don't respond, resend it because I probably didn't see it. Sometimes I do go a day or two without checking my email, which I shouldn't do, but it happens. Life happens. So, anyway, remember you matter always. Remember you're beautiful and gorgeous and just you do wonderful things, whether you think you do or not. There are times when I think, oh, all this crocheting, what is it doing? It doesn't really mean much of anything. And then my niece said that, and I just felt so wonderful. And when I asked her about making a bridal shawl, her eyes lit up, and she was really excited about that or me making something for her. So yeah, just remember, you may not think that what you do or say is important to other people, but it is. And just know that you're loved so much. And I will see you guys tomorrow, hopefully, for Vlogmas 9. So, good night.